So we're down in the Undercliff in St Lawrence at the moment, looking towards sort of Old Park, looking west. So kind of grassy, summer grazed cattle fields. Gradually, this is all on chalk, and the chalky wildflowers are gradually spreading into these fields from the coastal strip. It's all triple SI, kind of beyond this gate. It's an unfortunate sign here, which it's not very friendly, but shows triple SI. Yeah, so no inputs at all into these grassy fields. As I say, cattle graze year round. Nice scrubby areas kind of emerging from areas of grassland. See the chalky cliff face there, low sea cliffs. So that's looking south out to sea. Woody head just up above us, or just up ahead of us. So two species I think this habitat is good for. Sow buntings would forage in these grassy fields and I think nest in this scrubby areas. And then just behind us north is the inner cliff face. We're in the Undercliff. You can see the inner cliff face up there. Just above that, spring sown barley fields at Dean Farm. So I think if sow buntings could breed down here and winter up, it's very much like Frill Point, really. Ideally, we'd have some small areas of arable down here in the Undercliff. The field directly ahead was partly cultivated in the 90s. Used to be very good for sort of yellowhammers and linnets. That's been reverted to grassland, but if we could get some very small plots of cultivation, that would be useful, I think. But anyway, there's arable within probably 200 metres outside of the Undercliff, directly north of us, including the St Lawrence Field Wildlife Trust Reserve. So that's sow buntings, and from a chough point of view, you could easily foresee them nesting on that cliff face up there and then coming down to these coastal fields to forage, probably about 200 metres from the cliff, so a little bit far. They'll forage up to 300 metres, but it's a nice mosaic, summer grazing cattle. See some cowpats, so good foraging habitat for choughs. I reckon they might possibly nest on these lower cliff faces as well. There's Sugarloaf over there, which is a big slab of green sand, so very stable. Got jackdaws nesting in there and fulmar already, so don't see why choughs couldn't nest on that bit of cliff face. And on the chalk as well, further along, it's obviously more friable, the chalk, but lots of crevices. There are rabbits burrows on the top where the kind of the cliff top hits the grass, so maybe choughs could nest in crevices on the softer chalk as well. Yeah, and then directly inland of here, just above that inner cliff, you've got a mixture of obviously spring sown crops providing overwinter stubbles, which I think would be good for choughs, and the farmers spread manure over those fields in winter and create manure heaps, which I think would probably be good for foraging choughs as well over winter. So this is one of three kind of candidate areas for chough reintroduction to the island, the other two being the Needles and Culver. I do like this area. So this area here is owned by Twinings, of Twinings tea fame. As I say, all triple SI, so it's going to remain pretty much as it is, except become gradually better for wildflowers as this grassland area that was arable recovers. And then another area further east from here, going towards Ventnor Botanical Gardens, old Bank End Farm, is owned by the Noyes, and it used to be a rare breed survival trust farm. So they used to have aviaries with birds and various compounds with various cattle breeds and livestock breeds, and they've Penny Noise, one of the owners, has expressed an interest in considering reintroduction, so maybe she could host both chough and Sellbunting reintroduction. Should be rather nice. Yeah, so a nice area. It's quite a narrow strip. I mean, this kind of grassland strip is a couple of 100 metres wide and carries on for about 3 kilometres between the Botanical Gardens in the east and Puckaster Cove, Binnell Bay in that direction in the west. And then beyond that, you've got probably 3 kilometres from here, you've got St Catherine's Point, which again is really good coastal grassland. Looks a lot like Prawle. In my opinion, good for Sellbuntings and choughs. Gorecliff in particular looks very good for nesting chough. And you've got a large area of coastal landslip between here and St Catherine's Point, probably 2.5 kilometres long, which is a mixture of coastal scrub, open grassland grazed by rabbits, and lots and lots of bare ground covered in ruderal plant communities. Classic kind of coastal landslip, a mixture of chalk and galt clay and green sand. Lots of seepages, really good for linnets over winter, and yellowhammers feed there as well. They nest at St Catherine's Point. So my guess is that Sellbuntings would feed on that coastal landslip, kind of ruderal vegetation, as they presumably did before arable came along. Must have been one of their wintering habitats. But yeah, good area I think for both Sellbunting and chough reintroduction.